The greatest what-if Trevor Sports has ever attempted is about to take place. The 1994 Formula 1 season reimagined in Grand Prix, introduced by Trevor Ryder.
Forgive us, please, if we feel very emotional, because that's our boy. They're breaking ranks, the Union Jacks are waving, and Nigel Mansell wins the 1992 British Grand Prix in terrific style. Go, go, go! And it's happened immediately! This is amazing! Out! Oh my goodness, this is fantastic! Yeah, look at that! Brilliant! Absolutely brilliant! 3.36 seconds! There we are, folks. I'm back.
Sao Paulo, Brazil, the home of Ayrton Senna, who is absolutely worshipped. Is this his year in which he could mount a formidable challenge for the World Championship? Hello, welcome to Grand Prix for round one of the 16-round championship that we're going to bring you this season. Ayrton Senna has made the move over the Winster from McLaren to Williams. He's the bookies' favourites to take the championship this season. But if pre-season testing is anything to go by, the Benettons could be a formidable force. And don't forget Britain's Damon Hill, after his impressive finish to the 1993 season, could well be in amongst it. The Ferraris look just short of perhaps where they'd want to be. Whether Gerhard Berger and John Alesi can get them any further remains to be seen. But it's a season of intrigue and brilliance, and Interlagos seems the most perfect way to start this Grand Prix up. Everybody here in Brazil worships Ayrton Senna as he looks to push for his fourth World Championship. He's been wanting the move to Williams ever since the 1991 season. Well, they just showed just how good they were, even though Senna went on to win the World Championship that year. Well, it's time, I guess, to give us an update of what all the drivers have made for 1994. So for the first time, here's Trev Walker with the driver and team lineups for the season. At Williams, it's a change of sponsorship and it's a change of World Championships leaving at the peak. Damon Hill retains the number 0 with Alain Prost retiring last season. Ayrton Senna joins him in the number 2 car. Williams, of course, displaying their new Rothmans livery as the Renault-Williams partnership continues to go from strength to strength. But after the removal of all the driving aids, will they still be competitive? In the Tyrrell, Uko Katayama continues his Yamaha partnership and drives the vehicle, along with Britain's Mark Blundell partnering alongside the Tyrrell sides. Benetton have been very impressive with that Ford V8 in pre-season. Michael Schumacher may be thinking this could be his season in which he challenges for the championship. He is joined alongside Jos Verstappen. McLaren have a new engine provider in Peugeot. Mika Häkkinen retains his position, but Martin Brundle was brought in to drive the number 8 car. Is this the year in which Martin Brundle has a competitive car and can really go ahead and demonstrate his enormous talents? In the Footwork Arrow side, Christian Fittipaldi, son of Emerson, retains his position, as is Gianni Morbidelli, the Italian, driving at 9 and 10 for the Footwork Arrows Ford side. In the Lotus Mugen Honda side, Pedro Lamy will be partnered by Johnny Herbert in the Lotus, who doesn't seem to look like they're going to be anything but fighting purely for qualification. In the Jordan Hart, Brazilian Rumens Barrichello, who showed a really impressive start to his Grand Prix career. Eddie Jordan keeps him and brings in Ireland's Eddie Irvine to partner him in the Jordan Hart. In the LaRousse, Olivier Beretti is joined by Eric Comas this season. LaRousse, of course, very much a side that are going to be just delighted to make it to the grid. Minardi, sadly, the Italian-based side are heading that same route. Pierluigi Martini is partnered by Michele Alboreto, who never has a competitive drive ever since his disastrous spell earlier in his key. Minardi looked to be fighting the battle of the mid-carders. In Lugier Renault, the all-French outfit, has Eric Ballard and Olivier Parnis, who has shown fantastic potential, but it seems the car itself was a long way off being competitive this season. At Ferrari, Jean Alesi and Gerhard Berger will be hoping that they can produce something special. The Ferrari itself hasn't quite shown they've got the ability round twisty circuits, but that big Ferrari V12 may allow them to be highly competitive at the more power circuits, with Jean Alesi and Gerhard Berger perhaps the most complementary lineup they have on the grids. At Sauber, Carl Wendlinger is joined by Heinz-Harald Frentzen, who of course raced with Michael Schumacher back in their old junior days. The Sauber Mercedes looks to be a side that may be dark horses this season. In the Simtek Ford, David Brabham, son of the great John Brabham, is joined by Jean-Pierre Gounon, as they look to be a driving team just hoping to qualify. As is the Pacific Ilmor, Paul Belmondo is joined by Bertram Gachot, the former Jordan and Benetton driver, back with them. Michael Schumacher got the first pole position of the season ahead of Damon Hill, who outqualified his teammate Ayrton Senna, who's on the second row, joined by Jean Alesi. Mika Hakkinen in the McLaren is fifth ahead of Rubens Barrichello in the Jordan, an impressive sixth. Heinz-Harald Frentzen in the Mercedes-powered Sabre is up to seventh. Mark Blundell was 10th. Uko Katayama, his teammate, beats him into ninth. Carl Wendlinger in the other Sauber is 13th, with Pierluigi Martini 14th. Martin Brundle can manage just 15th behind Eddie Irvine, who is 16th. Jos Verstappen, Michael Schumacher's teammates, only good for 17th. Gerhard Berger was a qualifying to forget as he made just 19th in the end, and a race in which Johnny Herbert brings up the rear at 22nd. So the race is all ready to go. That is the lineup, and it's time for us now to go live to Interlagos, Sao Paulo, Brazil for the full race coverage. You'll hear Trev Hunt very shortly, but first to take you through the race is Trev Walker. Interlagos, Brazil, the home of the Brazilian Grand Prix, as it has been for the past 4 years, and what fantastic 4 Grand Prix that have gone before us. Ayrton Senna winning last season. He is the only starter in the previous to be on the grid today, with Alain Prost retiring and Nigel Mansell over in IndyCar this afternoon. But it may not be Ayrton Senna and the Williams that they want to watch out for as the potential challengers. After a fantastic pre-season, Michael Schumacher's wonderful work in the Benetton Ford may make him the favourite today. The weather, well, I can tell you right now, it's a wonderfully warm afternoon. Not too hot, it should suit the cars quite wonderfully. There is no chance of rain, at least that's what we've been told by the weather forecast, so it should be good. But the race itself, Interlagos, it's a lovely, quick, sweeping circuit, and it should be in for a fantastic race. The opening round of this World Championship, and all eyes look on the man today, Ayrton Senna. What pressure! Two-time winner of his home Grand Prix in here this afternoon in that new Williams, which doesn't have the driving aids and the support that the predecessors that have won the championship in Nigel Mansell and Alain Prost have had before. Well, alongside me today is Trev Hunt, and Trev, what have you made of this pre-season?
Well, it's been very interesting to see how people have done. Obviously, Ayrton Senna being the big mover to Williams, certainly to see how he's adapted to the loss of all the electronic aids. And of course, Michael Schumacher has been doing fantastic work with Benetton. Ross Brawn has created quite an excellent car this year, which certainly will be interesting to see how both Schumacher, who is the upcoming prospect, going up against Ayrton Senna, who is essentially the flag bearer for Formula 1 right now, as the best driver. And obviously, it'll be interesting to see how Ferrari do. Of course, they're the big name, and they're always wanted at the front. It'll be interesting to see what their V12s can do this year.
Well, the Brazilian Grand Prix at Interlagos is set with Michael Schumacher standing on pole. Damon Hill has done fantastically well to out-qualify Ayrton Senna, who admittedly did say in the pre-match press conference just how badly he got it wrong on the day. So, reminder here of what we're going to see today. It's a 71 lap race. We're expecting just one pit stop. Of course, they'll be pitting here for tyres and for fuel today. We can hope to be seeing a good open race, but the Williams, you know, they don't have the kind of support they've had before, but it is definitely Michael Schumacher that could well be the favourite for the race. So, reminder in it, we're looking for the lights. The red light will give us going. Once the lights go green, we're up and running and we're up and racing here at Interlagos for the opening round of the World Championship of 1994. The revs are up, the lights are on, and we're away. Go, go, go! Schumacher with an excellent start. Damon Hill has got off fantastically. How do you make the challenge into the first turn as well? A great start, it has to be said. And Senna is going around the outside of Damon Hill, and it looks like Senna and Damon Hill has come back. Damon Hill has come back, got past Senna. Not sure if he just lost traction. He's got right Jean Alesi sitting right behind him as they make their way down to turn 4. Jean Alesi, and also that's Rubens Barrichello alongside, and also Mika Hakkinen involved. And all of a sudden, Ayrton Senna started third, has found himself all the way down to 5th, and he's got Barrichello, and I think that's Cole Vendler also in 7th place sitting behind him in the Sauber. Disastrous start at the moment for Ayrton Senna in his home Grand Prix, gone from 3rd to 5th, and Barrichello and Alesi all past him. A dramatic few moments, but Michael Schumacher has got off to a cracking start, and it just seemed to be heading into that first turn. Whatever it was, it went all wrong for Ayrton Senna, and Damon Hill has got past him. Here is Hill now, and he's got Jean Alesi behind him, Englishman, and Schumacher is already absolutely flying at the moment, and we're on board with Schumacher coming through to complete the first lap. What a first lap this German has had.
Well, he's certainly got better traction off the line. He's left second place. Look at the gap to second place already, almost the entirety of the S section. As for Senna, he appeared to be struggling with traction off the line, as maybe he had a problem with tyre temperature. He's down there behind the Ferrari. It'll be interesting to see how he responds once he gets the track temperature gauged, as he's flying past Barrichello up the long straight there. That power from the Williams, doing really well there. I'm sure the crowd enjoyed the two Brazilians going toe to toe there.
Young Rubens Barrichello, what an impressive debut that he had last season. As for Ayrton Senna today, that Williams Renault V10 providing the power past the Jordan Hartons. It looks to be on a bit of a charge at the moment. Ayrton Senna, we're going through the speed trap at the moment, and that Williams is about just a mile an hour off at the moment. The Benetton Ford. The Benetton is probably the favourite this season. They've done so well in testing, and you know, I spoke to Ross Brawn in the paddock earlier on, and he said he's quietly confident this season, and that just shows with Michael Schumacher setting a 118. And he's already starting to pull away from Damon Hill, over 3 seconds in the lead.
Well, Damon Hill also having a good start. As we're probably going to see Senna perhaps make a move. He's just picking up the slipstream a bit. As you can see, Alesi trying to break the slipstream a little bit by weaving. Looks like he's got those tyres up to temperature now. You can see how much more grip he's got. He might have a go here. It's going to be very tight up the inside. He's thought about it. It's a very high temperature braking zone, this. You don't want to get your braking wrong. You could lock up. Obviously, we're missing driver aids this year, so much easier to make mistakes. The car won't save you if you try and catch it either. This is all about natural ability, although Senna has got plenty of it.
Yes, no active suspension, no traction control, no ABS. You know, not anything that you would find on your car that you're driving in the street today. These cars have got no power steering, so they really got a handle on them. But you know, we saw Senna going through the start-finish straight. This is where this Williams V10 has a handle on the Ferrari. that aerodynamically just isn't running as well when Ayrton Senna goes alongside John Alesi, outbrakes him into turn 1, so close coming through. Senna has enough, and Ayrton Senna is up into 3rd place, and the Brazilian fans are going absolutely crazy as they watch their hero, and now he's got Damon Hill and Michael Schumacher ahead of him at the moment.
He's certainly got the power on the straight. It may well be a V10 versus a V12, but it made it look easy down the straight. It's the advantage of having a bit of slipstream as well. No air resistance in the way. As we'll watch the start, let's see how much traction he had off the line. Did he have a bit of wheel spin perhaps? Or did he get caught out by Damon Hill on the inside? Let's have a look. Goes to the outside. Of course, that's the off the driving line, so the track temperature is going to be a little different offline. So they will have all done their warm-up lap on that line. And then on the outside, may have just lost a bit of tyre temperature, which is why he dropped a bit further back. And you're going to see Alesi come flying up behind him. You can see with the slipstream as well, that V12 is very powerful as well, although not quite as powerful as we saw on the long straight. And he's just got the confidence on the brakes to outbrake Ayrton Senna. He's a brave man to do that.
Well, this is Rumens Barrichello, and you see here that Jordan Hart right on the McLaren Peugeot, and he's braked not once and twice. I have to say, that's pretty fantastic driving by Rumens Barrichello. You know, a lot of it made this young man in his start, but so far at the moment he's made a promising go. And we're back on board at the moment with Ayrton Senna, who is flying through. He's already set the fastest time, and our first retirement, Gianni Morbidelli, is out of the race. Probably no surprises there. It's going to be a tough season for Gianni Morbidelli, but for Ayrton Senna, he's already putting in a tough race to Damon Hill because he's already caught up beside him. He's pulled away from that Ferrari, and now the order will be, was there, you know, Frank Williams, is he going to be asking Damon Hill to move over to let Ayrton Senna through? Senna very much called him to be the #1 driver, as a very brave Marshal waves his flag very close to the edge. Still, this was a long time ago. Green flags are out, overtaking can commence, and Ayrton Senna comes through. Might not have enough through here, but if Ayrton Senna can pick up a little bit of slipstream, there could be well the chance. Cars himself up to 180, 185 mile an hour. 5 seconds is the gap between Schumacher and Damon Hill in 2nd place. So for Ayrton Senna, this will be his main opportunity. It seems to be through the S's, up through into turn 4. Chance for him to accelerate all the way through to 6th gear, 186, 87 mile an hour. They'll be topping out heavy onto the brakes, braking just before the 50-meter sign, going there up through the gears, up through the power. Wonderful downforce these cars have, just a touch of curbs which you can use in this occasion because the cars themselves, the weather is perfect, the track is dry, the sun is out, and the Grand Prix is absolutely flying. And what a race we've got. And Senna is right at the gearbox at the moment on Damon Hill. You know, a 3-time race winner last season. Damon Hill really came into it in the second half of the season, and what a moment for Damon Hill being able to learn at the moment under Ayrton Senna, who really is applying the pressure and is getting closer and closer to Damon Hill. It's up to half a second. I wonder if this will be the opportunity where Ayrton Senna thinks about a move. Will he go it down the back straight? Ayrton Senna with everything in that Williams Renault V10. Identical setup, but very different driving styles from both men. And we're watching Senna fly through the start-finish straight again. Lap 7 completed here on this fantastic Prix circuit. And this could be the opportunity for Ayrton Senna. Will he make this move on Damon Hill through the air section? Powering out. Now does Damon Hill let him go? Does Senna have enough? He's got under traction. Wiggles left, wiggles right. Senna goes round it. It'll be who's the braver on the brakes. I wonder if Senna will get the position. He will. I think Damon Hill let him through in the end. But Ayrton Senna is up to 2nd place and has now got Michael Schumacher in his sights.
Well, this is where we'll see the single lap times. Obviously, Senna now with clear air in front of him. We're going to see how much pace he has in that Williams and how quickly he's acclimatised to his new team. He's got a 5-second gap to make up, as we're probably going to see Schumacher at the bottom of the picture. There he goes. That's the size of the gap that Senna has got to make up. But if any man can do it, and it's certainly at his home Grand Prix, then Senna will be the man to do it.
Well, Ross Brawn has been quietly confident, and Flavio Briatore in the Benetton side think they really do have a challenge, and the young Michael Schumacher, and I think that's one of the Ligiers that are out at the moment. I'm not sure, I've got a feeling that potentially could be, maybe is it Olivier Parnas? Olivier's out right on turn 1. I wonder if it wasn't a major accident there. It is Olivier Parnas that is out. Hopefully it's not a crash, looks like it's just a suspension problem. As Damon Hill is watching Ayrton Senna pull away from him and move away. So reminder at the moment of the leaderboard. Michael Schumacher leads. Second place Ayrton Senna. Third place is Damon Hill. Fourth at the moment is John Alesi in the Ferrari. Fifth place is Rubens Barrichello in the Jordan. And sixth at the moment is Mika Hakkinen, who's actually now got past. My apologies, Hakkinen has got past Rubens Barrichello. So Hakkinen in the McLaren Peugeot. Of course, McLaren won last season, driven by Ayrton Senna. And at the moment, Barrichello really is sitting right on the gearbox of Mika Hakkinen. As Carl Vendingler in the Sauber is also looking the back. This, of course, is for 5th place. So 5th and 6th, the final 2 points available. So I wonder if Vendingler will hope he can get involved in this. But Barrichello in that Jordan Hart is doing fantastically well at the moment.
Well, he's going to get the advantage of the slipstream up the main straights. We go back to Schumacher in his clean air.
And Schumacher's in the pits.
He's coming into the pits, in fact. We'll see how.
Schumacher is into the pits. They've got in early. He's one of the first cars in.
It's an early call. See how quickly the pit crew can get him through.
Well, 5.3 seconds.
Don't know how much fuel they would have put back in the car. There's a short stop, so I imagine it was just for fresh rubber and a bit of splash and dash going on there.
Well, Schumacher's come out in 9th place. It now means Ayrton Senna leads, but it means his Ayrton Senna on those tyres. Has he got enough in him to really pick up some quick times? Has Schumacher gambled by going early? It's fascinating strategy at the moment.
We didn't really get to see Ayrton Senna take any of the lead away from Schumacher, so we don't really have any idea pace-wise how different they were. But I imagine Senna is probably going to match them for going for the pits, and he is.
He is. The Williams have called him in. Adrian Newey and Patrick Head have made the call. In comes Ayrton Senna, of course, Williams Constructors Champion. First in, watching them. Look for the lollipop, look for the lights. Tyres off, tyres back on very quickly. All safe to go, no one's behind. 4.8 seconds, another really quick stop for the Williams side. Ayrton Senna's probably gained half a second out of that stop. So, in theory, that's 4.5 seconds left to go to try and catch up Michael Schumacher, but he's going to have to do it in dirty air.
Well, it'll be interesting how it goes through the traffic. There'll certainly be, based on ability of overtaking, as to who takes the lead here. As we can see John Alesi. Do you have an issue going into the pits? No, he's made that cleanly. See how quickly he gets through.
4.7 seconds is the fastest pit stop that we've had today.
Always a bit odd seeing Ferrari in yellow overalls. Personally feel like they should be red myself. They're much easier to spot. 4.7.
Well, after all the pit stops that have taken place at the moment, the cars fly through. There's your race leader at the moment, Damon Hill, but he has yet to pit. It's a case of now, can Damon Hill pick up enough speed and allow himself to move up into a winning position? Or where is Michael Schumacher, as he is at the moment having to be raced at the moment for track position at the moment. And that at the moment is Heinz Harald Frentzen. So these two was older German sport cars champions racing one another. But Schumacher in that Benetton Ford has just enough to move away from him. And Schumacher has reacted to it. This is Senna, and you can see there Heinz Harald Frentzen in the Sauber ahead of him, Michael Schumacher. So Senna has been on an absolute charge to catch as we watch Damon Hill come through to complete another lap at the moment. Lap 12 of 18 in the lead.
Well, he still hasn't pitted yet, so it'll be interesting to see when Williams call him in, whether they'll call him in to get him back out into a race-winning scenario, or whether they'll use him to try and help Senna beat Schumacher. Schumacher has got himself into a space now. Frentzen has gone into the pits, so that's going to give Senna some clear air directly behind Schumacher, and there he is. That gap is ever closer, ever smaller. It's not quite 5.5 seconds to what it was before the pit stops.
Well, Schumacher leads, Senna second. It's the scenario we were all hoping for. And Ayrton Senna, I'm sure now, has got the bit between his teeth. And if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Catching somebody is one thing, passing them is another. Has Michael Schumacher in that Benetton got enough to hold off Ayrton Senna and to win the first race of the season? And the Brazilian fans are absolutely jumping out of their skins at the moment. They are looking forward to this. We're looking at the timings to see what the difference is as Senna comfortably pulls away. Of course, Damon Hill still yet to pit, and here comes Damon Hill in for his pit stop. So, don't think he's going to retain the lead.
It'll need to be a quick stop if he wants to be fighting for the lead. It's a second slower than, say, the Ferraris and Senna's stop. It's not going to help him.
Yeah, 5.6 seconds. That's a slow stop by standards, and that's allowed Senna and Schumacher through. So I think Damon Hill now, we're looking at the timings. Yes, Damon Hill is still in third place, but now a second danger for Michael Schumacher because he's got back markers to pass. And he's got Ayrton Senna breathing down his neck.
As well, we'll be hoping to clear the traffic quickly down the straight, but Senna is rapidly closing in. This could be the battle we were all calling for. Schumacher has got past the back marker. How quickly can Senna dispatch of him? He's going to get the tow from perhaps both of them. See how quickly he clears him. He's in the slipstream.
Yeah, Michael Alboreto is the back marker holding them up. Here goes Senna. Does he have enough through the straight? That car is absolutely on the limit, but he's not got enough to get through the first turn, and this is all valuable time that Schumacher will be able to get. And Alboreto does the sensible thing and does let Ayrton Senna through, but I think Schumacher will be delighted with that. He's been able to gain perhaps half a second or so more.
Yes, that gap is looking a little more favourable. I don't think Senna will be saying any kind words to Alboreto there. I think he could have gotten away with moving over a bit sooner before the S-complex, but he doesn't want to compromise his own race, of course. Senna will always be angry about the back marker being in the way.
So here is Gerhard, who really has been struggling today, but he's got a Ligier ahead of him, Eric Bernard, who tries to do his best. Really struggled here, Berger. Has he got enough to outbreak him? It's so desperately close. Look at that between the two, but look at Berger. Wow, he's been in Formula 1. This is his 10th season now, and he's still not lost anything. That bravery to squeeze his way through and off. That's one of the Saubers that are off at the moment. A retirement. Looks like the engine has blown. That's Cole Vendingler is out of the race. His engine has gone. And will that bring out the yellow flags? This is at the moment Ayrton Senna, who's still doing his best to catch the other back marker. The question is at the moment, is he going to let him through? Really hesitating, and this is costing Ayrton Senna the race at the moment. As Christian Fittipaldi there, I'm sorry, you've got to let them through in that situation. Ayrton Senna lost 3 seconds in trying to pass Michael Alboreto. He might have lost 3 seconds here on Fittipaldi. That means he's got a mountain to make up on Michael Schumacher. And as things stand, Ayrton Senna is running out of laps to catch the race leader.
Well, it's a bit rubbish, isn't it? Those back markers have stolen the battle that everyone wanted to see. Right, not getting out of the way quick enough. I mean, if you're at the back, you really shouldn't be getting in the way of the leaders. And, well, Schumacher, he's got that advantage in his pocket now. He's just got to maintain that lead that he's got. Is it 3.5 seconds, although the yellow flags are out again. Wonder if that'll hold him up a bit more.
Well, it's 3.2 seconds is the lead. He's coming up to another back marker that lets him through nice and easily, but Michael Schumacher is definitely struggling out there on those tyres. Compare him to Ayrton Senna, who seems to be at the moment, who gained half a second in that last charge. The Williams Renault is absolutely flying at the moment, and Michael Schumacher, well, he's up against the master, Ayrton Senna, the 3 times world champion, facing off against Michael Schumacher, just hoping to get his 3rd win, and this race is getting closer and closer and closer. It is everything we've dreamed of. Schumacher leads in the Benetton. Ayrton Senna is second. I can confirm Damon Hill is still in 3rd place, so the Englishman is on board for the podium. But where the action is right at the front. And if this is how the 1994 season is going to start, I cannot wait for the next 16 races that we're going to see.
Well, Senna is absolutely piling the pressure on. He cut the gap in half just on that lap alone in clear air. Now that he doesn't have back markers to get in the way, he's absolutely flying right now.
Ayrton Senna will know he's got the home support, he's got the car just about positioned, just as he thought. No one would have thought that he could be the way in which Senna has gone pre-season, but it's absolutely working all the way at the moment for everybody in Williams. Senna knows that all he's got to do is squeeze every ounce that he can out of the car, and there is a chance. We're on lap 17 of 18 to go. 2 seconds to make up on Michael Schumacher with 2 laps to go, and this is getting awfully tense. You wonder perhaps Schumacher pitting early, have the tyres gone, and now Senna just making that tone. You see Senna's Williams dancing about as he tries to find every inch of grip possible, and Ayrton Senna is really putting the pressure on the young German Michael Schumacher.
Well, that Williams has been a little unstable in pre-season with its aerodynamics, and you saw it there on that straight, him catching the dirty air as well as the slipstream. It was disrupting the front a little bit, which may have slowed him down ever so slightly, but that Benetton is mighty in the corners. It's a straight line that Williams is really picking up the gap, although Senna is getting ever so close, and with just over a lap to go, it's really anyone's game.
Well, Schumacher just locked up, and Ayrton Senna there is cut the gap. You know, he made nearly 0.7 of a second, and he is giving every ounce of power that Williams Renault V10 has against the Benetton Ford V8. Final lap of the Brazilian Grand Prix, and Senna's cut it to a second. Ayrton Senna is giving everything possible through turn 1, through turn 2. Senna goes up through to turn 3, the long sweeping left-hander, through the gears, clip of the corner, up into the power, up through to turn 4. Schumacher has just got to give everything he can, keep it together, and he's going to put the race win in. But Senna is giving it everything possible to make that difference, and I think it showed because Schumacher's just put in his quickest lap for a while and has gone 2 tenths quicker than Senna.
Well, he's responding in kind with the excellent driving from Senna. Schumacher's got to show something in return, and I think he may well have done enough to secure the win, provided he doesn't make any mistakes going into the final sector.
Not long to go for Michael Schumacher. The pressure by Ayrton Senna, but Schumacher, and then he's down to under a second, so Senna in that second section is a lot quicker, but Michael Schumacher knows he's almost there. He can taste his 3rd race win. He could taste the first win of the 1994 World Championship. It has gone right to the wire, but Michael Schumacher is going to come home, and he is going to win the Brazilian Grand Prix for Benetton Ford in a fantastic race in the end. Wonderful stuff by Ayrton Senna, who pushed him all the way. Michael Schumacher has held on to win. A brilliant race, has to be said, and credit to everybody back in the Benetton factory for all that they've done. for Michael Schumacher today. What about that? A race winner. And he did so well to hold off, Ayrton Senna. Even his glass out of his mirror's fallen out. That's how hard he's been pushing today.
Well, he's done really well in the end to hold off Senna. He did get the advantage of traffic working in his favour, and of course Senna had a pretty poor start by his standards. So at the end of the day, he ended up coming out on top by a fine margin, and that's a very smoky looking Ferrari.
It is. It's John Lacey, and there's smoke coming out of him, and John Lacey is coming home in 4th place. So Lacey here with 3 points for him, but that Ferrari V12 is on fire! Oh, John Lacey! Wow! Wow, look at that! Wow, how about this? Fantastic! The fire in the end in the Ferrari. I'm sure he'll want to get out of there rather quickly, but that just shows you that the level in which John Lacey has driven that Ferrari. I'm sure he wants to get out of that quite quickly, mind you. And he's going to get out of the car now, as the Ferrari mechanics,
drive to the nearest marshal with a fire extinguisher.
Well, yes, but what can you say at the moment of Ayrton Senna? If it not for the poor start, could be challenging at the moment, could be taking his 3rd win at Interlagos. First for his new team. Damon Hill through in 3rd place. Good performance by the young Englishman, who's delighted he's got Ayrton Senna under the wing. But the driver of the day obviously goes to Michael Schumacher. Pole position, great start, has led all the way, but it's been pushed all the way by Ayrton Senna and Schumacher. Congratulations, that is a fantastic performance in the Benetton. Victory for Michael Schumacher in the opening round of the World Championships. Benetton have shown so much potential in testing and pre-season, and they look real contenders under the young German. In the end, his lead was a terrifyingly close one to being that of lost. Ayrton Senna was just about a second behind in the final few laps. Had the race gone 2 or 3 laps more, there's every chance Senna would have been able to caught him. Damon Hill takes the final podium position and continues his great form up from last season, this time under the apprenticeship of Ayrton Senna. As for the rest of the grid, Gerhard Berger, after starting 19th, battled his way up to 13th. Mark Blundell is down in the bottom. Eddie Irvine remains 15th. Only 3 drivers failing to finish were Carl Vendingler, Olivier Parnas and Gianni Morbidelli with engine suspension and transmission problems. After the first round of the World Championships, of course, Schumacher has the lead. Senna is second, and Damon Hill will be pleased with that 3rd place he stands. A deserving point for Rubens Barrichello, who got his first for Jordans. In the Constructors' Championship, Benetton Ford lead, as do Williams Renault, both with 10 points. Benetton ahead, obviously, of course, for winning the race, and it seems those two will be locked into combat for the rest of the season. Round 1 goes to Michael Schumacher. 15 more to go. Ayrton Senna was just a second behind, nearly coming close to winning his home Grand Prix. If anything like that, we should be in for some brilliant racing as the season goes forward. And of course, you can watch it exclusively live here on Grand Prix. As for when you next watch us, well, we're in Japan, AIDA, for the Pacific Grand Prix. That is coming up, and keep your notification bells alarmed and ready. And if you want to find out when we're dropping it, come and follow us at TrevorSports90 on Twitter. As for us, Schumacher wins his 3rd race. I wonder if he'll go on to win any more, maybe even 7 World Championships. The question is, will he win this one, or will Senna stop him? From all of us at Grand Prix, bye-bye.
I've got a lump in my throat.